The fallout from the resignation of the former Harvard president Claudine Gay has been hilarious. She has went and pulled the excuses that everybody anticipated her. It's like, oh, you're a liar and a con artist. Okay, cool. Well, you're only criticizing me because I'm black. Yeah, no, everything all checks out, man. Whenever these lefties have an excuse, let's go ahead and try to pull it. It's like, no. You broke the law. Like that's a problem, okay? You didn't accomplish what you claimed that you did in order to achieve the position that you ultimately attained. And when people call that into question, all of a sudden they did that just because they're ists and phobes. It doesn't quite work that way. Harvard's Claudine Gay plays the race card, showing exactly why she had to go. Yeah, for as much as the hubbub, and I'm glad that she ended up getting taken down off the back of the plagiarism stuff, because the whole, oh my gosh, she hates them boys, that was always superfluous nonsense. It's like, if you listen to the testimony, she tried to give a nuanced answer, but hey, she's a con artist at the end of the day, so sucks to suck. In resigning as Harvard President Claudine Gay, I couldn't have made it clearer Tuesday why she absolutely had to go. She basically blamed racism for her exit, claiming she was subjected to personal attacks and threats fueled by racial animus. Unless, of course, now you want to intrinsically tie plagiarism with being black. That's very strange. Not a word of apology for her morally bankrupt response to Hamas massacre. Oh my God, I don't care about that. Mostly because, yeah, you just want to focus on one aspect of that, but not reconcile the fact that hospitals, apartments, schools, but no, tunnels. Not even a word of regret for careless, at least, and apparently plagiarizing throughout her academic career, and then getting slapped with 6 more cases on the way out the door, and then people running through, which, game recognizes game on that one. Hey, if you're going to be called out for plagiarism, at least feel free to plagiarize your resignation letter. That's kind of funny, and if it was done as a joke, good on you for that one. Indeed, Gay played clueless about all her stunning missteps and actually took offense to the doubt cast on my commitments to confronting hate and to upholding scholarly rigor. Oh my God. Well, I can think of something that rhymes with rigor that's a bit appropriate. Those are bedrock values that are fundamental to who I am. Confronting hate, please. No, exactly. Endorsing it, well, that's what you're trying to do right here. In fact, she struggled for days to denounce, oh my God, I don't care about that, upholding scholarly rigor. Harvard students were appalled by how she was getting away with plagiarism. For the racial animus, Gay, who is black, was recently tapped for the post and benefited in large part because of her race and her dedication to racist DEI policies. Of course, like the way that Harvard has treated Asians for a long time. I understand that she didn't bring in those policies, but she definitely reaffirmed them. All victimhood, no introspection. But yeah, when you end up getting coddled from the likes of the Associated Press, and this was, it was so good. Harvard president's resignation highlights new conservative weapon against colleges, plagiarism. I'm sorry, what? This comes from, yes, the Associated Press. And the fact that the community notes completely and totally ruined her day on this one, I love it. Plagiarism is a breach of the rules at Harvard University. Claudine Gay was ultimately forced to resign for a series of breaches of this policy. Plagiarism, or the application of the rules around plagiarism, therefore cannot be considered a weapon. Exactly. The legal system is being used as a weapon to confront and deal with murderers. That's clearly that's a right-wing conspiracy theory, right? Unbelievable. Claudine Gay's ouster had nothing to do with racism. Are you sure? She's still trying to figure out. It's like it's got to be racist. Is it racism, or is it misogyny, or is it misogynistic racism? We'll get to the bottom of it. How predictable. Leftists are now claiming Harvard President Claudine Gay's ouster was a result of a racist campaign by conservatives. Well, leftists like the Associated Press, the newswire of note. Better add demands for academic standards and moral decency to the left's list of racist sins, because, in truth, it was just for such demands from voices on the left and right that forced her resignation, as opposed to actual racism. In a since deleted ex-post, the BBC called Gay a casualty of the campus culture wars. It would have been, and I would have been against that if it would have been for, oh my gosh, she didn't stand with our greatest ally hard enough. I don't care about that. You can have your opinions however you want. I know I have mine because I've seen certain things and I've looked at the videos that are out there, and I don't necessarily believe one side over the other. But in also listening to the words that she says on the issue, yeah, it's not exactly the way that they're trying to present that. But when it comes to plagiarism, it's pretty black and white, and has nothing to do with you being black instead of being white. NAACP Legal Defense Fund President Janai Nelson posted on X, attacks against Claudine Gay have been unrelenting and the biases unmasked. Yeah, exactly, like the hiring biases over in the Ivy Leagues when it comes to unqualified black women. You're just simply giving that position because of racism. Wow, maybe racism is at play in this one. Ex-Harvard professor Cornel West singled out 3 Jews. I'm sorry, what? This is a hard right turn. The same figures that forces enabling the ethnic cleansing and genocidal attacks on Palestine and Gaza, Bill Ackman, Edward Bloom, and Larry Summers, and others push out the first black woman president of Harvard. Oh, Cornel West. Never change, you racist bigot. This racism, the racism is killing me against both Palestinians and black people is undeniable and despicable. Yeah, see, this is why I hate leftists whenever they talk about, the Palestinian issue. They always trying to rope in these other disparate, unconnected, frankly ridiculous claims on top of that. Yeah, there are legitimate problems and legitimate things going on in Palestine, and if nobody addresses them, they're just going to continue to get even worse than they have been for generations. But then just also trying to make this a black issue, like, you're fucking stupid. Gay herself cried racism and continues to paint herself as a victim. Please, Harvard admits as she failed to sufficiently cite sources in her work. Yeah, just steal ideas wholesale and then just try to pass them off as hers. No, she was against Israel. Anyways, even Gay acknowledges mishandling her response to Hamas's savage October 7th attack. And don't forget, University of Pennsylvania President Liz McGill. Yes, she was the one who got axed first because UPenn way more pro-Israel than Harvard, apparently. Stepped down, well, until you take a look at who the replacement for Gay is right now, and it's like, oh, makes a lot of sense. Stepped down in shame a mere 4 days after the hearing without even facing plagiarism charges. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I never really think that she deserves a presidential position, but I don't know, maybe she had the work ethic and the qualifications behind it, but I make too many jokes for myself. Nor was it just conservatives calling for her ouster. At the Washington Post, John McWhorter and Ruth Marcus, both self-described liberals, called for her to quit over the plagiarism allegations. Yes, John McWhorter, very black. Ruth Marcus, don't know. Students at Harvard, furious. They were being held to higher standards of academic conduct than their own president, added their voices. Big donors, including Ackman, Griffin, Seth Klarman, Lloyd Blankfen, fine, obviously. Blasted Gay's weak response to anti-Semitism. Yeah, exactly. You run down that, and it sounds like a fire drill with the number of bells. These weren't conservative voices, but people sincerely concerned with Gay's lack of moral clarity and misconduct. It's so funny. It's so funny because you take a look at all of the policies that Claudine Gay would go out there and champion, and those same people, so concerned about anti-Semitism, were totally fine with discriminating against qualified white applicants, qualified Asian applicants, the best people for the job. But the moment that she doesn't come out and just support the homeland strongly enough, then they decide to turn on her. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Lefties can wail about imagined bigotry, but they can't argue with Gay's record. Her ouster was entirely of her own doing. And just like with lefties, when it comes to conflating the Palestinian problems with a bunch of black issues, now you're having it. You're having it over there on the right when it comes to Claudine Gay. Okay, she's a liar, she's a fraud, she's a conner, she's a plagiarist. All of that is documented, and go ahead and write her out on a rail for those issues. Those are legitimate. Those are reasons that she should not be employed in academics or really anywhere. Go flip burgers. It's really tough to fabricate that work. But the fact that they're trying to roll in, she's not standing up enough. Oh, she needs to maintain a safe space for Jewish students. That's the real problem. Because in hindsight, when there's enough time put between the facts and the perception of the facts, all of that stuff is going to be rolled in together and used and weaponized on issues like this going into the future, making it so if you go ahead and criticize a certain state in a certain part of the world, then all of a sudden you're going to be given the Claudine Gay treatment, even if you've written every word by yourself, unassisted, to get to the spot that you find yourself in. Cancel culture has taken many different forms and many different facets in the previous few years, but never more so has it become more clear how the right wants to take their version of it and weaponize it. If you don't adhere to one of their specific pet projects hard enough, they will go ahead and disown you quicker than a lefty turns on a black individual thinker. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.